Hello, my creative friends, and welcome to the optional viewing personal vlog entry of the daily prompt. Each week, I'm going to do sort of a Dear Diary kind of a thing, and I guess sort of fill you in. Really, I'm filling myself in. This is more for me than for you, I guess. Although hopefully there will be stuff in here if you care to watch that that is helpful and insightful. But really, the idea here is to just sort of recap my experience of doing the vlogging thing, recap my sort of experience on this whole journey. This is now week 4. We've actually done 4 weeks now. We're a month into this thing. And I feel like I'm nearly done with establishing the context of this whole thing. What I've always found over the years, oh, and by the way, if you're new here, this is optional viewing. If there's any cool insights or something that comes up here, I will probably create a video about it at some point in the future, simply because I don't want anyone to miss that. I have told people that you don't have to watch these, so I know that I'm already chewing up a lot of your time with this series, hopefully giving you more value than the time that we're chewing up. But I do respect your time, and so I wanted to give you the out if you wanted the out. So that said, one of the things that I've always known, one of the challenges that I've always had is laying out the full context of what I do. I had somebody, I just finished responding to an email from a great guy who's been trading emails for me after watching this series a little bit, who really liked the video that I made the other day, and basically told me not to apologize for talking about fast screenplay. And I do find that I don't apologize for fast screenplay. It is my magnum opus at this point. I believe that this series and what I'm building here, building the independent indie film studio, I believe that will be the ultimate magnum opus of my life and career. But up till now, the big one is fast screenplay. I'm in no way shy about it or embarrassed about it or apologetic for it. My big thing is that whenever I talk about it, I know that people tune out. And it's more important to me to have people understand the ideas that I'm trying to get across than talk about my system. I feel like if people hear me talk about fast screenplay, they think I'm trying to sell something, and so they think everything that I'm doing here is just some machination for getting that sale. And it's not. I can see why people think that. And I want to lay enough groundwork. I want to lay enough of context. I want to help people understand clearly enough before I start talking about fast screenplay what this is, so that fast screenplay is a component of it. You know, it's the big challenge of all of it is that to build what I'm trying to build, I need people to join me. I don't ultimately need people to join me now, because ultimately I can build what I'm building with the group that I already have, with just my own efforts, just refocus into a different area. I think what's most frustrating about this so far, a month into this vlogging thing, into this journey, is that I really don't think writers are, I don't think the audience so far, and we're a small audience, so I know it's probably only a few of you watching this, so please don't take offense to this, but I really feel like people are not understanding what this is and what's being presented. And I look at myself and I wonder, am I being unclear about what it is, or is it that you're not understanding, or is it that what I'm trying to convey is intrinsically new? It hasn't really been talked about or examined before, and so therefore is just a difficult bridge we have to try to cross. Any one of those could be true, and I don't yet know which one it is. And part of where I'm thinking at week 4 is, what is it? And how do I bridge the gap if it is a gap? because, and I sort of think that the sample size is too small at the moment. At the moment we're having, at the time that I'm recording this, the views are in the low hundreds, 100 and 200 views after 2 days, kind of a thing. And I'm looking at the views to the likes ratio, and I'm going, okay, fair enough that a lot of people watch the videos and they don't click like when they like it. That's okay. But do they not like it? Is there something in there that's not being clear? Is there something that they're wanting? Is there something that if you're a viewer watching this optional thing, is there something you want to see that I haven't included yet? Now, it doesn't really matter at the end. In the end of it doesn't ultimately matter if we get likes or if we get views. That doesn't matter to the journey itself. But what I'm fascinated by is that ratio, because I'm trying to figure out what resonates with people as a way to understand how to adapt and align my message so that it resonates more effectively. So, which is really the same thing that I teach writers to do in screenwriting, is understand the feedback that you get so that you can figure out how what you're doing is landing. Not to appease them. I'm not going to change what I'm doing for you. If the viewer, if it's me watching it back, I am going to change it for you. But knowing how it lands with you can help me tweak and adapt and refine and modify that message, which is part of the process. It's that sort of alignment phase stuff that we've talked about. So I read the comments very closely. I respond to a lot of comments. It's taking a lot of time. I'm very frustrated this week because I was wanting to launch the Instagram account. I mean, it exists, but I was wanting to sort of start putting up a whole bunch of content, take little clips from this and put them as little Instagram videos as a way to sort of spread the message and get more people interested in this kind of thing. It's just time. It's time. Time. It's the killer. It's the, man, I wish there was more hours in the day or I wish I had more of a team. I wish I had more people that went, Jeff, I love what you're trying to do. Let me help you. I do have a few, and those of you that have reached out to me, I thank you for it. It's trying to coordinate all that and get everybody sort of on board together at the same time. Here's the big challenge, and in fact, tomorrow's episode is specifically going to talk about money because I want to be really transparent with everybody and sort of let you know how the money works and where the money goes and all that kind of thing for this project. Not necessarily specifically for film projects, although we'll get into that as we make films. But if I was flush with cash, I would have a team of people. If I had a team of people, we would explode this outward much more quickly, much more powerfully, I think. As frustrating as it is that I'm not in a position to be able to do that, there's another part of me that's excited about the fact that it is that struggle, because it really is starting from the beginning. I'm not starting from the beginning. I said it in one of the other videos. I'm not starting from the beginning. I've spent literally 20 years on this. I spent 10 years building fast screenplay. That's a long time. What we have there is this enormous and ultimately inevitable result that this thing provides. So we're starting from way beyond where someone else who would try to replicate this would be starting, because the whole engine is there. But this phase of it is so at the very bare bones beginnings. And when I talk about the money stuff tomorrow, it'll be clear why we have to start so bare bones. But where I'm at right now in week 4 is it's just frustrating to not be able to realize and actualize all of the things that I just want to sort of roll into motion. And it's money is the big issue. Time is the big issue. If you don't have the money, then time becomes an even bigger issue. How do I fit it all in at the same time? it was requested that I add like sketches and draw things out and sort of convey information that way. And the reason I'm doing this format is because this is the quickest. If I wasn't coughing still, damn it, then I wouldn't have to go through and duck the audio and stuff. I would be able to literally, in the length of the video, that amount of time, that times 3. For digitizing and all that kind of stuff, and the videos would be ready. So it would only be about an hour or so a day. At the moment, it's more like 2 to 3 hours a day with the uploading and all that kind of stuff. So that's frustrating. And what's more frustrating is that it's this chicken and egg scenario. If we don't get the numbers of viewers, people going, wow, I'm into this, then we have less likelihood of getting the volunteers, getting the revenue in, getting all that stuff, right? So it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means it's going to take more time. So that's where I'm at, I guess, at week 4. Is I'm excited about the progress of it from a sort of meta standpoint. There's that word again. I did that in an earlier video. In case you're only watching the vlogs, the personal entries. From a meta level, it's I have never been more convinced. Each day that goes by, I'm more and more convinced. And I don't just say that to be giddy or happy or make myself feel good about it afterwards. It's the journey nature of this series is so, I believe, so not apparent to anyone watching live as these are coming out. It's like walking through this giant forest and you're like 3 steps into the forest and you're seeing a tree and you're looking at the tree and you're looking at that tree. Like you think you're in a forest looking at trees, but what you don't realize is that you are on the start of this epic journey, and that epic journey is super exciting to me, and I think going to be, I just think it's going to be such an amazing thing when we're further along. I've reached out to a couple of writers regarding writing a project that I'm going to be probably making first as a way to, I'm not sure if I talked about this in an earlier one, but anyway, this is where I'm at week 4. The writers room group that we have at the moment are working on projects. Things are taking time. Things are taking more time than I want them to, frankly, but it is what it is. So I'm probably going to end up writing the first one myself. I have a really good idea. I think I have a really good idea. I bounced it off of somebody whose opinion I trust, a couple of people whose opinions I trust, and they're very excited about it. So kind of a really cool sci-fi idea that we can do on a small budget, if on a micro budget. So I'm super excited about that. The question again is time. Where do I find the time to put into developing that if I'm doing these videos, if I'm doing this vlog, if I'm doing, try to turn it into a podcast, if I'm putting the social media stuff out? You have to do that stuff to build the audience, to bring in the volunteers, the revenue, the interest in the project in the first place, to build that, right? So I don't know. It always comes back to time and money, really, and I have limited amounts of both. Less money than time, but less time than I need. So that's kind of the frustration of where I'm at this week. The other frustration I think is when you try to roll out something big, when you try to sort of explain a big idea that doesn't really lend itself to a pithy, concise encapsulation. This is the thing that I've struggled with fast screenplay for the whole time, is people think it's something other than what it is, and so everybody calls it a screenwriting course. Oh, what's that course you've got? Let me buy your course, or I'm not interested in your course, or whatever it is. Fast screenplay is not a course. It never has been, never will be. It may look like a course. It may feel a little bit like a course because the first time through you have to learn it. Anyway, the trying to explain that, though, trying to explain that what I have created does not fit your existing mental model. It's something different, and I need you to understand what I've created rather than trying to shoehorn it into what you think it is. That's a really hard thing to do. And I'm realizing now, a month into this vlog, is that I have to do the same thing with the vlog. So I have to do the thing with Fast Screenplay. I have to do the same thing with the vlog itself, which is, what exactly are you building? I can't tell you that in one video. I have not found a way to crystallize that into a 5-minute pitch or a 2-minute pitch or a 20-minute pitch. And so with enough detail and nuance that you see really what it is. In the nutshell, I'm building an independent film studio. What does that mean, though? What are the nuances that make that an exciting thing to happen, something that you'd want to get involved with? You know, how's it going to help you? All that kind of stuff. Like, if you don't understand those things, then the fact that I'm building this or that I'm trying to build this is, okay, well, cool, good for you. And that changes how I go about presenting it. I've had people literally struggle with Fast Screenplay for years who only after watching some of these videos have emailed me privately and said, oh, now I get what you're doing. It's like I've been trying to explain this stuff for years. So my reason for recording that on this personal entry is I'm hoping that this project becomes clearer faster than Fast Screenplay has. When I first started, as a total side note, when I first launched Fast Screenplay, the first year I had a woman helping me edit the content and design the exercises and all that. She's a PhD educator, really great lady. She was an award-winning screenwriter herself, and so she was able to help me turn all the steps of the system into something tangible, into a physical exercise, which actually builds those skills through the thing. She said at the very beginning, I implore you, I beg you, do not call it Fast Screenplay. Because she's like, I would never look at something called Fast Screenplay. And I think she's right. I think she's probably right. I stuck with it because from a wider perspective, it's the right name. See, I'm always trying to find a way to turn this into some value for somebody watching this. But when you put an idea into somebody's head, when you call something Fast Screenplay, it puts an image in their head. And the image that Fast Screenplay conjures most often is a screenplay that's written quickly. And what I see when I see Fast Screenplay is a screenplay that reads fast, a page turner, a mastery level screenplay. But because that first idea is conjured there, it's really hard to pull people away from that preconceived idea. I had several emails from people that have said that Fast Screenplay seems too beginnery, and oh my God, no! It's ideally for an intermediate to advanced level writer, but it starts at the beginning of the process and goes to the end of the process. So of course the beginning feels beginnery, but because of the name, I think it puts that idea. It puts the wrong idea into people's heads. So the question is, should I rebrand? Should I change it? Or as I spoke to somebody else this week, should I shift the focus so that I make the fast thing about that thing it conjures up, but I make the other thing, the building the independent film studio and all that, under a different brand, a different banner, so that people will actually dig into the meat of it. I don't know. And I think, you know, at some point that may be something that I do. I may need to rebrand at some point. If ultimately it becomes enough of a sticking point, that's one of the reasons that this is the Daily Prompt. This is not the Daily Prompt by Fast Screenplay. I don't pop the Fast Screenplay logo on here. You know, it's on the Fast Screenplay channel, but if you're just watching the show, you don't see the Fast Screenplay branding. It's not because I'm ashamed of Fast Screenplay. It's because I want to be a daily prompt for people. Fast Screenplay is the original, the OG Daily Prompt. It is and it's more of a daily prompt than this can ever be, for reasons I'll talk about in a video ahead. But at the end of the day, Fast Screenplay is right. It's what it's supposed to be. It's what it's meant to be. There's so many meta layers and interlocking layers for why that's the right name that it'd be hard to rebrand. I'd be really... Anyway, that's something that the reason I want to record it here, partly because I'm not recording it anywhere else, but part of the reason I want to record it here is because I'm worried that branding issue is going to make building the film studio more of a harder than it needs to be, or harder than it would otherwise be. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's the case, but that's a fear, I guess. And as I'm rolling things out on this channel through these videos, I believe firmly if you start at the beginning and you watch every single video that I've made in this series to date, which is only 27 videos or something like that. There's a lot of time involved, I get it, but that is, like, I'm so proud of what I've already done in this vlog series. Like, I feel like I have covered things that no one else covers. I have gone deeper. I have, like, mind equals blown. if you really understand, if a writer watching this were to fully grasp what all this is and really take it on board. And I worry that people don't and people aren't because possibly they have the wrong idea based upon the branding or based upon that. Anyway, I don't know if that's true. That's if anybody's watching this, the view numbers for these ones are always way down, as is fair enough. If you have comments about it, please pop them in the comments below, because I read everything and I'm happy to discuss all that stuff. So anyway, we'll talk more about it. I'm gonna lay out how Fast Screenplay factors into it and how to make all this stuff real and all that stuff as we go along. Hopefully people will, I guess, open their minds to, I don't know, maybe it's me. I don't know. I mean, I'm in this real sort of feeling today and this week about, it's almost like I'm trying to figure out who, and maybe this is the problem, trying to figure out who's to blame for it not quite connecting yet. Is it me? If it's me, I'm happy to know that. I want to know that so that I can adjust. If it's the writer, I want to know that too. If it's you, I want to know that too, so that I know how to bridge the gap. Like, this is the hard thing about watching the view numbers get to 200 and the likes stop at 10, but this other video they get up to 40, but then this other video they get to 19, and it's like, I don't care about the numbers. What I'm interested in is, well, people must have really liked that one because there are more as a ratio, right? So this seemed to maybe hit the target a little bit better than this one. I look back on See the Invisible Opportunities, an episode that I made very early on. And it's like the lowest view aside from the personal entries. It's the lowest viewed one. And I'm like, it is It is the most important one. It is the most valuable one. And yet it's the lowest viewed. So is that the title? Is that people didn't resonate with it? Nobody shared it. The likes, I think, are even down on it. It's just those kinds of things are perplexing. And for those of you that I know, there are a few people that watch this that get a little bit worried that I'm obsessing over things that are irrelevant to the big picture. I'm not actually obsessing about them. I just want to record them for posterity. So I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I know very clearly where I'm trying to go. I'm about to leave when I'm done here, about to go to a meeting that I'm very excited about, which is regarding the production stuff. So it's all good. It's just the journey's different than I thought it was going to be, and I'm going through the ups and downs like every journey has. And I'm not in a super excited place. I'm not in a depressed place. I'm riding that wave of the journey, and we're 4 weeks in. I can't wait to see how this thing unfolds. Like, I could crash and burn really hard, and that's kind of cool too. Like, I don't have a problem if that's what happens. So I'm just looking forward to it all. So anyway, that's the personal vlog entry for this week. I don't even know if we got anything valuable at all. If you happen to be watching this is your optional day. If you decide you want to take action, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 10 hours, whatever it might be, please take action. I'm not doing this stuff just because I like to hear myself talk, even though it may sound like it. I'm doing this because ultimately writers are needed, man. Writers are needed, and I need lots of them. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll see you with a real episode tomorrow. Thanks for watching.